After rereading the Mimics origin stories within Tales from the Pizzaplex, I realized how similar some of the behaviors and mannerisms after its creation are similar to what we see and learn about Charlie in the Fourth Closet book. During the closing moments of the Fourth Closet, we learn about Charlie's true nature as a highly advanced sentient robot and how she came into existence. We see that after Charlotte's kidnapping and death at the hands of William, Henry was racked with guilt and grief, crying into a rag doll the girl owned for 2 whole months. When the man's agony poured into the doll, it gave it new life and sentience, with the man noticing this. Afterwards, Henry would create 4 humanoid androids, which each one simulating phases of the girl's life from toddler to adult. Another interesting trait of the androids is that each of them were influenced and act according to Henry's emotions, with the first one birthed from Henry's broken heart, resulting in her crying all the time. The second one birthed from the peak of Henry's madness, resulting in her being hopelessly desperate for his love and approval. And the third one being birthed from Henry's realization of his madness, resulting in Charlie being strange and awkward. During the Mimics origin stories in the Tales book, we see subtle hints of the endoskeleton's sentience even before we become the violent killing machine we see in Rowan, with 3 examples in mind. The first example is upon Edwin asking the Mimic a question, the Endo actively nods in response, which surprises Edwin, as he hadn't programmed it to perform said act. The next example we see is when the Mimic reaches out to grab Edwin's wrist, with the Endo being quite gentle and hesitant with his grip, almost like it understood that it could potentially hurt someone with his strength. The last example of the Mimic's sentience is when Edwin compliments the Mimic's intelligence, causing the Endo's eyes to glow brighter than normal, almost like it was happy at the compliment. All this information taken into account, it appears that just like Charlie in her creation, the Mimic was also influenced and made sentient by the emotions of not only its creator, but also David, with it actively being much more gentle and childlike before its beating at Edwin's hands. However, after it would be beaten and abandoned, the Mimic would soak in all the violence, agony, and rage that Edwin expressed, causing it to become homicidal and murderous. Very similar to how Circus Baby was influenced by Henry's rage in the Fourth Closet. This would eventually lead to the violent nature we see the Mimic display in future Tales books and the Ruin DLC.